The college football experience, Miami Hurricanes 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, brought to you by our very own Patreon. Yes, score exclusive perks and content available only to our patrons at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey everybody, Jim McMahon here, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Miami Hurricanes 2023 season preview episode. I'm excited to talk Hurricane football, even though some might say they're a basketball school after making the Final Four.
Very nice.
And after the recent, ever since the Hurricanes have jumped into the ACC, it's been a little shaky. We're going to talk all about it. Perhaps you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to. Well, my name is Colbie Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Mario Cristobal, year one. Pretend like it never happened. Get along with your life. All right, we're here to talk all about it. We're gonna break down every single game on the U. They call it. It's all about the U. That schedule. And we're going to talk offense, defense, special teams, even the transfer portal. I am joined by my co-host. And if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, because it's like he knew we were going to talk Miami Hurricane football, because he's wearing a slick fucking shirt. It looks like you're on a yacht down there in Miami Gardens.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Bringing those vibes, bringing that Miami Vice vibes.
Like you got the shiny watch going. I'm telling you.
I'm flossing. I mean, it's Miami. You gotta bring
Don Johnson over here.
You gotta bring the bling when it comes to Miami. I got the Miami Don Johnson. What I loved about Don Johnson, of course, Croc and Tubbs down there in Miami Vice. His character, like he was an ex-Heisman winner, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was an ex-Heisman winner. And his background story is, and then he goes into undercover narcotic work down in Miami. You think they recognize him? You think Gino Torretta is down there?
Point Break. Right. It was like, hey,
well, that's what I mean. Johnny Utah's next Rose Bowl winner broke his fucking knee, and then he's doing FBI undercover work.
Sports back then, sports.
But Don Johnson is in Miami, the mecca of college football. Down southern Florida.
True. And that was before it became all that Euro trash came in.
He's got a pet alligator. I mean, are you trying to blend in or what? You imagine Gino Torretta was selling coke down here. You're like, well, I think something's up here.
Vinny Testaverde sitting there. Oh man,
Testaverde might. He's fucking punch drunk right now.
I am joined. If you're wondering who that is, look. He is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, which I highly recommend you listen to because it's fucking hilarious. He is hilarious. Give it up they call him the man in the box, CJ Sullivan. How you doing, buddy?
Loving it. Like I said, I already got my bits out of the way up top. I got nothing left now, but thank you, Colbie. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm part of the Miami show. I finally got upgraded.
You did. You put in that work with the Charlotte 49ers. You put in that work. Go listen to the Charlotte preview, folks, because they're on the come up.
Which is just getting updated now, by the way.
Yeah.
Right?
I flipped. I'm on the over at Biff Poggi at AAC.
Yeah, you had the under. I saw over all the way. And then Biff came in and smashed the podium today in the press conference.
Then I had you on the Cal Golden Bears.
Cal Golden Bears wasn't bad.
Yeah. You could make an argument. They might be better than Miami. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you have I got you on Kent State.
Kent State was one. Was that it? I thought there was another.
I think those are. Might be one more. I'm not sure.
Christ, yeah.
But
Kent State, I remember because I sung the Neil Young song plenty of times about shooting their students. Anyway, but glad to be here as part of the U college football royalty.
Yeah. Are they a basketball school now?
They're
or are they
definitely
football?
a basketball. Well. Obviously, I mean, of course, they're known for football and the documentaries and the U. Now they're just known for as far as football goes, they have the whiniest alumni. That's all they do. Just talk about the U, the days. All right, shut the fuck up. I mean, with all these stories.
You want to talk about?
God, they just whine and moan.
You want to talk about conference realignment? They joined the ACC in 2004, right? Prior to that, remember, they were only playing 11 game seasons. It's 12 now, right? Well, not including the bowl game. Regular season's 11. They had
well, for them it remains 11. since they haven't won a bowl game since they've won. Well, we'll get to that.
They had 14 double-digit win seasons from 2003 to 1983. So 14 double-digit win seasons in only 11 game seasons.
Amazing.
Dominance. But since that
was in the Big East too, they would win by 40, 50
when you're playing
points.
fucking
too,
Temple.
Right. Yeah.
Although their Temple's still on the schedule this year. But
well, you can't break up that rivalry.
Yeah, you grew up in the Pennsylvania area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, how many Temple Miami games?
I would love to see Paul Palmer returning a kick at the vet. Canes coming in.
Former Kansas City Chief.
Absolutely.
Dallas Cowboy. So they joined the ACC in 2004, and get this, they have only had one double-digit season, and even with that was 2017 with Mark Richt, and it was kind of a little bit of a phony double-digit win season. But Mario Cristobal comes in year one, and he goes 5-7.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. What do you make of like? I've always been a skeptic of Mario Cristobal. I could tell you back when he was at what was it, FIU, I believe.
Yep.
I was a skeptic there, but once again, FIU is a hard job. So you give him the benefit of the doubt. He was 27-47 there, but then at Oregon he was 35-13, which you would say, oh, fantastic. He is a great recruiter. He worked with Saban in Alabama, but all it took was one preseason game for me to see the Chargers and Justin Herbert, and I go, whoa,
yeah,
where the fuck was that when he was at Oregon?
Seriously, Miami should fire him on the spot just by watching Charger games.
Yeah,
you had that guy,
and
you decided not to use. You wanted to handcuff it. Would you run option with this asshole?
I was a skeptic of Herbert because of that. I was like, I'm not sure he's going to be good in the NFL. And then it was like first preseason game. I was like, oh, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. He's got a fucking cannon.
Oh, he's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Okay, all right, fine, fair enough.
What were they doing? Running option read with them?
Jesus Christ, man. Cristobal. Here's some nice numbers on Cristobal. He is 7-21-2 against the spread in the last in your last 29.
Well, clock management too is another thing that he's always been pretty bad with.
And this is my favorite one. 8 out of the last 21 games, they've been favored by 9.5 points or less. They've lost outright. They've lost outright.
Whew.
I mean, that's some part of the poll.
Repeat that.
8 of the last 21 games that they've been favored.
Mario Cristobal coach
9.5 or less. Mario Cristobal team.
Going back to the Oregon.
Right.
Wow. So overall,
they've lost outright. Yeah. Not covered. Have lost the game.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad. And look, 67-67 is his career record. Man, I questioned the hire a year ago. I know he's going to be able to bring in talent, and with John Ruiz, that big booster.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll be wrong. We've been wrong before. We're going to talk all about it, folks. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience Miami Hurricanes 2023 season preview is brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. I want you to do your part in the war against corporate gambling and sign up for the SGPN Patreon. There's a ton of exclusive content and merch just for our patrons. So come on. Plus, how about this? A monthly SGP stories podcast. You might hear CJ Sullivan talk about the time that he punched Don Johnson in the face.
It was for an audition. He likes the method. He likes the method.
We got stories. All right. We got stories.
Yeah.
There was at one time when you were with Pete Stoyanovich drinking beers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pete Stoyanovich and Pedro Stojakovic at the same time.
Oh, in a bar at once with CJ Sullivan. You're going to get all that content, all that good stuff. It'll be ad free, uncensored show. So you won't have to bleep out anything. He'll call me a piece of shit. Just no problem. All right. And like the best stories from decades and decades of being DJs. There's even a Discord channel for our patrons too. Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon is also a great way to score exclusive perks, and you're supporting us. All right. Like I said, we're not backed by all this corporate nonsense. All right. Nor do we want to be. All right. So stick around. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. Remember, folks, as always, to let it ride. All right. We are back on the college football experience. Miami Hurricanes 2023 season preview. And I must apologize to our listeners from a year ago because I was sold. Look, I have faded Miami for the better part of like 10 years. 12 years since Al Golden, right? Maybe even Randy Shannon. Golden. Last year, even though I'm a Cristobal skeptic and I didn't enjoy the hire, I took the over because I thought they won the portal and I thought the schedule was so soft.
Right. And you were right on those angles. But that was good handicapping.
But damn, if I sat there, me and NC Nick, my brother who hosts the show with us, he's like, man, we both, and I believe Patty C sprinkled fairy dust on us was taking the over. But hey, they did it again in the portal because John Reese, they got a mega booster, man. This guy will just buy anybody. Right. You know what I mean? He'll buy me. I'll leave SGPN right now. Right?
They've upgraded. Miami's got a lot of history of purchasing, from Luther Campbell up to the Diaz.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Nevin Shapiro. Yeah.
Right.
Hell of a guy. So here's what they lost in the portal before we get to what they gained. Cornerback Chris Graves gone in the portal, hasn't landed anywhere. Terry Roberts. Isn't that the name of Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, Balboa. Terry Balboa. Jake Roberts, you're thinking.
No, Hulk Hogan's real name, isn't it Terry?
I know it's Terry. I thought it was Terry Balboa. For some reason.
Right.
I don't know.
Anyway, he's in the portal.
The Hulkster's out there. The Hulkster's down there. He's out of Tampa.
Yeah.
He's transferred.
I'm saying, man.
He's got enough money. He's got enough money to buy a football team, Hulk Hogan.
I know.
After suing Deadspin.
I mean, someone needs to get him involved with the football program. Come on.
I agree.
Get Hulk Hogan on the sidelines. They already have The Rock. Remember, he played in Miami.
Sure did.
Also leaving in the portal is defensive end Thomas Davis goes to App State. The Mountaineers. Defensive end Jabari Ishmael in the portal. God, he says, I'm out of here. Wow. Tight end Khalil Brantley goes to FAU, and Tom Herman right up the road in Boca Raton. Quarterback Jake Garcia, 4-star. Patty C was really high on him. He's out. He's now at Missouri in the SEC. Offensive lineman Ja'Kai Clark also goes to SMU, the Mustangs, with their NIL money. They also lost Avery Huff, a linebacker, to the Airport FIU. Offensive tackle John Campbell Jr. to the Tennessee Volunteers.
Okay.
Cornerback Kamari Rogers to Mississippi State with the Bulldogs and Zach Arnett. Wide receiver Romello Brinson to SMU, the Mustangs. And this one's just, hold on, I got to load up something.
SMU
here. Just cleaning the house.
Took emptied the cupboards of Miami.
They got money too, man. They got some of that money.
They didn't know what to do with their money early on. When Eric Dickerson days, they were just orange Corvettes in the front driveway.
They were a little ahead of their time.
They didn't hide anything.
But how about this one? Defensive lineman Daryl Jackson leaves Miami to go to Florida State.
Oh, that hurts.
I mean, do we not have rules anymore, CJ?
I know.
Who are we in society?
Right. That's against Southern Florida.
What's going on?
Southern Florida religion. You can't be doing that. You can't go over to.
So
remember when Free Shoes University was an insult?
I do.
Free shoes.
Running back Jalen Knighton.
That's a big one. He went to SMU as well, right?
Everyone's going to SMU.
Yeah, that was a big one. He's actually a great.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
How about this one? Defensive lineman Jordan Miller, not to be confused with their basketball player that went to the NBA.
Right. SMU as well.
He goes to SMU too. SMU having a fire sale.
Jesus, he's mustache.
Or Miami having a fire sale. One of the two.
Right. And SMU's buying pennies on the dollar.
Safety Avante Williams goes to the Maryland Terrapins, where I think he's penciled in to be a day one starter. Cornerback Isaiah Dunson goes to Dave Aranda and Baylor. Safety Jalen Harrell goes to UMass and Don Brown. Well, wide receiver Keyshawn Smith. Guess where he goes? SMU.
University.
Yeah.
Southern Methodist Craig James University.
Running back Thad Franklin's in the portal. Defensive lineman Elijah Roberts goes to SMU.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
What is going on? Someone's got to open an investigation. What Texas oil man? What Dallas oil man? J.R. Ewing comes in.
You're telling me there's no tampering?
Right.
You're telling me there's no tampering.
Damn
here.
it.
Safety Keyshawn Washington's in the portal. Defensive lineman Alan Hay ends up with the Temple Owls, who are on the schedule, as I alluded to.
Yes, they're our rivalry.
Al Blades Jr. Look, the Blades family has been a part of the Miami Hurricanes.
Love
I
the
feel
Blades.
like
Love the Blades
goes
boys.
to Duke.
What?
Goes to Duke.
Duke shouldn't be allowed to have a Blades. That's come on.
I mean, what's next?
Right, they gonna get Ed Reed down there or one of his. Well,
I can't believe that Duke's got Al Blades and
That's
okay,
terrible.
and one other one, safety Gilbert Frierson to Louisville.
Okay,
that's a lot of fucking people.
it's a lot of emptying out. What is a lot of turnover? Period.
But what they bring in, they got that money. Watch out, because linebacker KJ Cloyd from the Louisville Cardinals, he's there.
Okay.
Running back AJ Allen coming over from the Nebraska Cornhuskers. You also have cornerback Jedias Richard from Vanderbilt coming in. Oklahoma cornerback Jaden Davis. This is a 4-star transfer get right there. ULM defensive lineman Anthony Campbell, who flashed a little bit with the Warhawks there in Monroe, Louisiana. Offensive lineman Luis Cristobal from Georgia State.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, Dad, I told you I wanted to be a Power 5 player.
Well, you better come now because we're both of us aren't going to last too long.
I'm joking, Luis. You probably punch me in the face and throw me 20 yards.
Good luck to you, Luis.
Alabama wide receiver Tyler Harrell, who's penciled in to be a day one starter for the Hurricane.
You had me at Alabama.
Tight end Cam McCormick from the Oregon Ducks. So Cristobal is familiar with
Cam McCormick from Oregon Ducks. A little fun fact about Cam McCormick: this will be his 8th year of college football.
Unbelievable.
What is going on with these?
He was at Oregon with Dan Fouts. Unfucking.
He's on my plan, but that's how I do college. But I wouldn't play football.
What does that make you? 26 years old when the season starts?
It makes you a Mormon.
He might be 27 at some point.
I know. This guy's got a family, for fuck's sake.
Isn't the athletic prime of the human body like at 25? So like he's over the hill right now.
Right. Oh yeah, he's got a mortgage. I mean, he's got real day-to-day life problems, you know.
8th year. Offensive lineman, starting center Matt Lee from UCF coming in. 60 career starts, CJ. 60 career starts.
60 careers. How's that possible?
Yeah, he might be on the 8-year plan too.
What? How many games is that? That's 12 games, 5 years. What's going on now?
I told you, college sports is crazy right now.
What the fuck? How that can't be right?
Yeah, 60 careers.
Good for him. Good Lord. That's like when you hear like Cy Young won 500 games. Like what? What were they counting as wins back then? What are 60 games? Spring ball?
Yeah, what's going on? Defensive lineman Branson Dean comes in from Purdue. Nice get, 4-star get from the Boilermakers. Then they went out and got Washington State. This guy was a huge get. Francisco Magua.
Yes, he's a linebacker.
Yeah,
right?
I think his brother's on the team, and he was a stud at Wazoo.
Okay,
he was a stud at Wazoo, so that was a big time get for them. They also brought in Alabama 4-star offensive lineman Javion Cohen. That is a big get, and that's the real thing.
Another one had me at Alabama.
Cristobal's going to get the O-line going. Like one thing you could say is he produces O-line guys, so
he better.
Yeah,
because they got depleted. It's all new guys, obviously, but you're right. That's been his bread and butter.
Cornerback Devontae Brown comes in from UCF as well. Also Georgia State defensive lineman Thomas Gore coming in, no relation to Al. And linebacker Rocky Shelton from the Duke Blue Devils. So it's like they did a little trade with the Duke Blue Devils. CJ Sullivan, I just rattled off a shit ton of names at you. Do you think they won or lost the portal? It's kind of hard to do.
This one is kind of up in the air. This one is kind of a mystery. They got depleted, but they brought in a lot as well. And we'll see. I'm intrigued.
SMU came in so
Yeah, ask Jimmy
aggressively.
right now. But I'm intrigued by all those 30-year-olds you're talking about. I mean, guy was 65 starts. The guy played for 8 years. Like you said, I like that Francisco from Washington State. I remember some 90-yard like pick six.
Against the Ducks.
Yeah,
Against the Ducks.
right, absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's a mystery. I think much like Miami itself this year, there's mystery, there's intrigue, there's a ceiling to them, and there's a low floor, and there's a floor as well. They could crash, they could rise. There's a lot. They have all new coaching staff.
Miami Vice promo. There's mystery, there's intrigue. They can crash.
Absolutely.
They can burn.
Right after this break.
Right. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, well, obviously it's a cop out answer. Time to tell. See who won the transfer portal of losing or bad. But it's really kind of up in the air. I don't think you can say either way that, they got to make up for this. They did great here. I think it's kind of balanced out, and we'll see. What happens.
And what's crazy, I feel like, is if you look at what happened last year, they were really bad. I know you could say 5-7, and people say, oh, they're a game away from a bowl. They lost by double digits at home to Middle Tennessee. And they got very lucky that they beat Virginia, who's terrible.
Middle Tennessee, who I just did with you, of course. Not only did they beat them at double digits, they dominated. They outgained them by like 250 yards. Middle Tennessee, a team that lost to James Madison a couple weeks before.
40 points.
By 40 points a couple weeks before.
Well,
Miami was a debacle last year.
Well, and even if you look at their wins, like, okay, they beat Bethune-Cookman, awful FCS.
Yep.
They beat Southern Miss. That's actually their best win of the whole season. And a lot of that is because Southern Miss's starting quarterback went down, right?
Mm-hmm.
First quarter of that game. Then they beat Virginia Tech by 6. Virginia Tech was terrible last year. And this game is what I'm alluding to, the Virginia game. Virginia, I thought, was one of the worst Power 5s, if not the worst Power 5 in all of the land. And that 4 overtime game, 14-12. How do you even go to that many overtimes without scoring points? And then they beat Georgia Tech. So they didn't have a win. They didn't have a Power 5 win against a team with a winning record.
Right.
So they were a bad team. And if you look at the losses
are just embarrassing.
Oh man, double-digit loss to Middle Tennessee, double-digit loss by 24 to Duke in Miami. That doesn't happen. 42-point loss in the rivalry game against Florida State, 30-point loss to Clemson, 26-point loss to Pitt. I mean, and that was at home too in Miami. So you really got to worry about this program right now, despite Ruiz and the fact of being able to recruit. This is a program that, like, over the past, losing to Duke, losing to Virginia and Boston College and Maryland and La Tech and Florida International, Middle Tennessee, South Florida, all those teams. That's not Miami football.
You can't lose to Duke by 24 at home. That's how you got a Blades brother to get out of it. To get out of there and go to Chapel Hill. I mean, or wherever. Durham. I meant. Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, that's insane.
So what? But here's why I'm very concerned, because he brought in Josh Gaddis, who was a Broyles Award winner for top assistant last year. And their offense was 96th in scoring offense, 95th in rush offense, 59th in pass offense, 85th in total offense. He's gone. A lot of their position coaches are gone. Their defensive coordinator headed out, and this is even more confusing. When their defense coordinator got hired away by Bama.
Yeah. So
it's like their defense wasn't very good last year, but Nick Saban liked something there because Kevin Steele's now at Alabama. But let's get into it, because they hire new offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson, who comes over from Houston, which interesting hire because Houston was solid, but they were in the AAC. And I think 2 years ago they had a very favorable schedule. But Tyler Van Dyke, so they're going to be running air raid, but they kind of he kind of runs out of the air raid. Dawson runs out of the air raid more than most air raid coaches, especially Mike Leach. Tyler Van Dyke's a very experienced quarterback. We'll see. I know 2 years ago people were saying to be a top 20 pick. After last season, he might not be. He might be a top 20 pick in the USFL after last season.
Well, he turned them around that one. He came in as a freshman. Remember, they were like, they were bad, and he came in, and all of a sudden,
I think he's got a little bit of talent there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he took a little step back for sure.
So he's back. Henry Parrish at the running back spot is back, and he flashed a little bit. I know they still have Chaney also at the other running back spot, and Ajay Allen. But I mean, they got guys. Van Dyke. Last year, everyone's saying he was the best quarterback in the ACC.
I like Van Dyke. I don't mind him, and I like Parrish. Yeah. Now, behind him, it gets questionable. The depth in running back is not good, especially with Jalen.
But if the O line can be this good, and we'll see.
Right. That's what definitely going to come down to.
And they had the wideouts struggled in last year. Xavier Restrepo is back. Tyler Harrell comes in from Bama. I know they're excited about Brashard Smith, also Colbie Young, Frank Ladson, who used to be at Clemson. They're all there. If they could take a step forward, that would be huge because they were not great at the wide receiver position, and they got injured a lot last year. Maybe that had something to do with it. Breaking in a brand new tight end, Elijah Arroyo. I don't know if there's any relation to Marcus Arroyo there, but the offensive line does return 4 or 5 starters if you count Javion Cohen, the 4-star from Alabama. This is where I think will make or break their season, because if they're a lot better and they're able to run, but it's still weird because they're going to the air raid, and I don't know that they have stud wideouts yet.
Yeah, that's it.
But if they can run a lot better, this is where they could take a big stride. But I am concerned about how much Cristobal just got the job like 12 months, 16 months ago. And, to be already firing your offensive coordinator, Josh Gaddis, who had previously won a Broyles Award trophy for top assistant, and now he's at Maryland, makes you wonder, was it Gaddis or was it Cristobal?
Yeah, no, it's definitely Cristobal, and that's one of those desperation ones because they didn't want to fire him after 1 year. Like, okay, well, everyone's got to go. All of your choices have got to go. Everyone's just got to go but you. So it's because that desperation move. He said it had to be done, but the blame has to start somewhere. You know, and it's definitely him. It's not just both. It's both coordinators, which is very rare. But 7 new assistants altogether.
Yeah, seven assistants. But this is the perplexing one, is because the defensive side of the ball, they were 66th in scoring defense, 54th in rush defense, 79th in pass defense. Remember, Middle Tennessee threw for like a clean 500 on them. I feel like
they did. It was over 500 yards.
64th in total defense. But he's Kevin Steele, the guy with some coaching chops, like historically, is now in Alabama. So they go out and they bring in Lance Guidry from Marshall. Marshall had an unbelievably good defense, but it was in the Sun Belt. They did beat Notre Dame last year. I'm not taking shots at Guidry, but we definitely I'm concerned with all the turnover. How cohesive can you be with, like, if you're just sitting there, hey, you're out of here, you're in here, you're out of here, you're in here.
Well, like I said, it all comes from this whiny alumni. I mean, I don't think they ever should have got rid of Manny Diaz that 1 year, and all of a sudden you bring in Cristobal after one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there was a case for it, but like you can't just keep having this turnover, and I think part of the problem is they do return more starters in a lot of programs.
Yeah, sure. 19 total starters if you count the transfers who started.
Absolutely, who are starters. But what I'm looking at just overall is that good news and bad news? You're returning starters, but
5 and 7.
You're returning starters for a 5 and 17,
and very close to being 3 and 9.
Exactly. I mean, I just don't think the talent's there, to be honest with you.
Well, the defensive side of the ball is bringing back 10. All starters on the defensive line have started at college football level. So like Akeem Mesidor comes in from West Virginia. He started there. They bring back Leonard Taylor, who was second team all ACC a year ago. Branson Dean is back, he transfers in from Purdue. He started there. Jafari Harvey. So they got experience as far as starts. That we mentioned Francisco Magua, the linebacker coming in from Washington State, who I know they're fucking really high on. He walks right in, day one starter, but he started at Wazoo. The other 2 linebackers started. The secondary got scorched a season ago, as we alluded to, but they return. They bring in Devontae Brown from UCF.
They brought in UCF like SMU got from their coverage. You know, they're kind of looking around like, well, why are we doing this right here, next to us? I mean,
it's like they're better than us,
right? And they should be better than us at Florida product. So they got Devontae Brown and Matt Lee. He had 31 starts. Devontae Brown. Yeah, and Jaden Davis comes in from Oklahoma. Once again, Oklahoma's defense wasn't setting the world on fire. No.
I don't know. There's a ton of returning starts here though, which is encouraging.
Yes.
But we will see another, like I said, a brand new defensive coordinator. Maybe the schedule is lighter. We're going to get to it. By the way, their kicker is back, and Andre Bor.
I was going to say, when is that going to finally come up? My favorite Dundee stat. You're very high on the college kickers. It does matter.
It matters, buddy.
So they got to bring in Andre Boros, and they have an Australian punter again because they lost. Who was their punter last year? Lou Headley.
Yeah, and Dylan Joyce comes in.
Yes.
Kick Dundee.
Kick Dundee. I like that. Now that I'm gonna get my Australian. I like
they
that.
got to kick Dundee on this team.
Yeah, I like the Australian kicker trend that goes on.
That's what I'm saying. So we might want to take the over just based off that. Folks, we're going to go game by game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience Miami Hurricanes preview is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, the NFL season is right around the corner, and Underdog Pick'em is a great way to get down on a ton of NFL player props. It's also available in a ton of markets, so check it out. Plus, plenty of opportunities to win with their daily MLB contest, and of course, make sure to enter their Best Ball Mania, where first place gets $1 million. Head on over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. All right. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, youtube.com/the college experience, remember that's the hub for all of our podcasts. We host the college basketball experience every single night of the college basketball season. I am here. So Jimmy Larinagas resurrected that program, or not even resurrected. He's just taken that program to unbelievable heights. We got you covered there. The college football experience, the FCS college football experience, the college baseball experience, because Miami's got a good baseball program, and the Big 12 experience now. So who knows? Miami might end up in there down the road. Who knows? Check it all out. Yeah. YouTube.com/the college experience. But if you're watching right now, you see, shout out to Cam Kerr, our graphics guy. The win total sitting at 7.5. Wait a second, CJ. They were 5-7 a year ago. You think
5-7, and now
3 more wins?
I mean, are we paying for a brand name? Is that what's going on? A transfer? What are we looking at here?
That happens. That happens.
And Miami, of course, one of the huge public school as far as the gambling goes.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have to pay a premium for it. And 7.5, without even looking at the schedule, just seems ambitious already.
Yeah. So the schedule, though, let's get to it, because I do think it's still kind. But okay. Week 1, Friday, September 1st, nationally televised. You got the Battle of Miami.
Woo-wee.
The Red Hawks, Miami, Ohio, and the MAC taking on, and they start Blaine Gabbert's brother at quarterback, Brett Gabbert.
Brett Gabbert.
I mean, look, I'm going to take Miami, Florida, but tread lightly, because Miami, Ohio is not terrible.
Miami, Ohio is not terrible.
Yeah, this is like
for a preview for that.
If they play terrible, like if you play like you played against Middle Tennessee, you will lose this game.
Miami on Miami crime. I got the Canes opening up.
But I'm just saying, if they come out,
well, they're not. There's no way they overlook this. There's no way they take this lightly. Coming off the year they had, what they are with Cristobal. Cristobal will have him fired up. I mean, he's a bad coach. No doubt about it. Yeah. But he'll have him fired. He'll have him fired up for a bad team like this, and not a bad team, but you know what I mean. Yeah. The home opener off a horrible season. I like the Canes in this.
And now Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher, former Florida State coach.
Okay.
And Bobby Petrino comes into Miami. A lot of strip clubs in Miami, CJ. You never know what road rash face could happen there, right? I feel like the Miami Vice character, could be somewhat. I mean, not Miami Vice. Grand Theft Auto character.
Grand Theft Auto.
Vice City.
Leisure Suit Larry, if you want to go back to all the videos.
Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry might have been based on Bobby Petrino. It looked a little different, but from a character standpoint. This is a big game because both coaches on the hot seat. I'm taking A&M, though.
Yeah, I like it. Well, first of all, I like A&M a lot this year to bounce back from their bad season. I think the talent is there.
Like top 5 recruiting
obviously, the talent is there, and eventually it has to rise to the top. As bad as Jimbo Fisher will get out of the way, and I think they're gonna steamroll Miami.
Yeah, so 1-1, and then Bethune-Cookman's on the schedule again. Reggie Theus is their athletic director. Remember when Ed Reed worked there for like a week?
I know, right?
Fuck it, I'm cleaning up trash.
That's like one of my favorite. I love when athletes go back. I want to do this for the program. Do this for like when Riddick Bowe wanted to be a Marine, and he did that for like 2 hours. He's like, people started yelling at him. He's like, "Fuck this! I could knock this guy out. I don't want to be yelled at."
Ed Reed's like, they haven't sent someone to clean my desk yet or clean my office. It's like, I'm out here cleaning up trash. It's fucking hot as shit. I'm out of here.
Imagine making Ed Reed clean up his own goddamn desk. The nerve.
It would have been so cool if Ed Reed was coaching this game.
I would love it. That'd be amazing. They still wouldn't win, but I still like it.
Yeah, it'll be a little reason to watch.
They beat him 70-13 last year to open up the season.
Probably this one might be 84-13.
Yeah, so this is gonna be tough. So we got 2-1 Canes. Here we go.
And now they head to the link. A random road trip to the link where about 12 people will be here. Rivalry game as CJ Sullivan.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of D, had a coach, and they took him right from him. He was going to coach at Temple. And they raised him right before the sign.
He did the press conference.
Yeah,
Tip,
right. I'm telling you right now, I have Temple insiders. Watch out for these Owls this year.
Kurt Warner's son, EJ Warner, firing that rock. Stan Drayton, doing a
boys
damn good
down
job.
there. They got some things cooking down there.
I got 3-1. Tell me you're going with these Owls.
Well, let's see. They didn't play. I mean, it is a step up. I can see.
If it was at a different time of year when it was colder, I would buy in.
Right.
September 23rd ain't going to be cold.
No, it's not. And Miami will be feeling themselves. All right. This is my watch yourself Miami game, though. Watch yourself.
It is
going into the link, going into this Temple. This Temple team's got something for you this year.
And me and NC Nick have made this case.
Yeah.
Like where Boston College, they won't sell out their games and
right.
Temple, same effect.
Sure.
We actually think that is their home field environment because no one gives, you show up there and you start not
sleep,
caring.
Right. You lull them to sleep. I like that.
So a nice edge there for the Owls. They get a bye week though, and then they host Georgia Tech. Now watch out. Georgia Tech's brand new head coach, Brent Key, but Georgia Tech's kind of played Miami really well over the past 5 years. I'm going to take Miami, but for some reason, Jeff Collins, who couldn't win many games, did have some success against the Miami Hurricanes, and Brent Key was on his staff, but I will take Miami. And Miami has this problem too. No one goes to their games because it's like an hour away from campus.
Right.
What are you doing here in this Georgia Tech game?
Yeah, Georgia Tech. That's too soon. I mean, I think Georgia Tech will be improved as well.
Yeah,
but not this improved.
So 4-1.
4-1.
Cristobal hype is real.
Sitting pretty, feeling good, fat and sassy.
And now you come into Chapel Hill, nice little wine and cheese crowd there.
If I was Cristobal at this point in the season, we're looking in the future. 4-1. This is where I get. Let's get this deal done. Let's get an extension done before the fucking roof falls in on you, because it's about to happen.
Yeah, they go to North Carolina. Drake May might be the first pick of the draft. Now North Carolina is a strange team. Like they could beat anybody in the country, but they can also lose to anyone in the country. Yeah. I will take North Carolina, but I would not be surprised if Miami won this game. What are you doing here?
I got UNC in this game for sure.
So that moves us to what? 4-2. 4-2, and now they host the Clemson Tigers. They offensively challenged a year ago was Clemson, but they went out and brought in Garrett Riley. Lincoln Riley's brother was the OC of the TCU Horned Frogs, who played in the national championship. I got Clemson winning this one.
Yeah. Because this is a get right flex game for Clemson. They like you said, just season. I mean, I think they're also gonna be on the up from what they looked like last year.
So 4-3.
Yep.
And now the Virginia Cavaliers come to town, and they are a mess to me. Tony Elliott, tragic way to end his first season, but his first season was a disaster before that. Brennan Armstrong bounces to NC State. Fentrell Cypress, their top defensive player, bounces to Florida State. I got to take Miami to get it done here at Hard Rock Stadium. Although I think historically Virginia has fucked with Miami.
Yes, absolutely.
Even last year, 4 overtimes, they lose by 2.
Just the fact, just this conference. That's what happens. They have teams that just mess with you. You know what I mean? You can't really explain why. What's going on? They won't back. They lose one of them, but Virginia's they'll be Virginia.
So that's 5.
That's 5 wins. Here we
5-3.
Now we're cooking.
And now they head to Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina, to take on Brennan Armstrong, where he's now with Robert and I at NC State. And this is a look ahead spot because they got Florida State on deck. Yeah. And guess what? I got NC State winning this.
I like NC State here.
Yeah. So I got them moving to 5-4 there. And now they're back-to-back away as they head into the Doak, at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. They lost by 46 or something a year ago.
45-3. They lost that game. Shoot.
I'm not taking them to win in Tallahassee.
No,
you?
No, not in Tallahassee.
So that puts them at 5-5. There's 2 games left. And the Louisville Cardinal come to town. Jeff Brown.
Now this I like. This is the new rivalry.
The Schnellenberger.
They're playing for the Howard Schnellenberger Trophy, and they got a trophy. It's a pair of Schnellenberger's boots.
It should be a pipe.
I know it should be a pipe. When he would leave it, in some house of some kid down in Liberty City, smoking in his big old limo down the street.
Think about that, son.
Yeah. Look at these boots, though. You're going to get as a
It's
trophy. I mean,
fantastic.
that's amazing.
Fantastic.
I love Schellenberger, and every team should have some kind of Schellenberger.
100%, man. 100.
He's a god.
Loved his mustache. Everything was fantastic.
He is the U. He's what created the U. I know Jimmy Johnson, all that.
He kind of stole it.
He did. Absolutely.
It's like when Mahoney was gone in Police Academy and the other guy came in.
Right? That's when Police Academy really went to hell. Because you know why? Because they didn't hire from within. They didn't upgrade from within. They brought in a new Mahoney.
But they did go to Miami in number 5.
Right. They did go to Miami in number 5. But what they should have done, give fucking Sweet Chuck or Winslow somebody a promotion.
Yeah.
And you could tell it resonated within the unit. Yeah, there was animosity in the whole unit.
Word is they had to like take a couple day hiatus because Hightower punched someone in the face. No, so
for the Schellenberger Trophy, this is in Louisville. This is a hotly contested.
No, it's in Miami. It's in Miami.
Is it in Miami?
But I like.
Oh, it is in Miami. Nice.
I still think Louisville's a better team right now.
Sure.
I will take Louisville.
They're bringing the boots back.
So I got them 5-6 to go bowling. Man, this is a brutal final game of the season because you have potentially Boston College might fire Jeff Hafley.
Okay.
This is a very hard game to forecast for me because if they're coachless, I could see BC quitting.
Yeah.
But damn, if I don't feel good about Miami going up in cold ass Boston in November 24th. It's irrelevant, by the way. We're on the under.
We're on the under 7.5.
Under.
I think they'll get this win in BC to get bowl eligible. They haven't been to a bowl game since the Cheez-It Bowl in 2020
when La Tech beat them.
Yeah. I mean, they're also, here's a fun fact about Miami. They are 1-10 in bowl games since 06.
That's tough.
That is a brutal record.
I'll say this. I think they probably go 6-6, but I think they lose to BC. Maybe
right. I can get behind it. Back-to-back 5-7s. I'm fine with that.
Maybe they beat North Carolina or NC State. Sometimes they throw us lemons.
Sure.
But I don't think they're going to go up to their cold ass Boston.
All right, give me a loss. Who gives a shit? We're on the under either way.
I feel pretty good about the under.
I love this. Lock this up. You don't even have to ask me twice.
There we go.
Put it on the app. Play the song. Play whatever you got. But lock this up. Canes under 7.5.
Lock it up. Yes! The Cristobal special. And we're fading 2 Cristobal's now.
I mean, there might be 2 You're right. There might be 2 coachless teams going on there.
That's true.
Can we get Cristobal out of there by the time? I mean, it's a
big buyout though, but they got money. They got crazy money.
Colleges make those mistakes all the time. Whatever, just buy it out.
Yeah, exactly. All right, look, before we get out of here, I had a chance to sit down with College Football Campus Tour, aka Michael Barker, to talk about his experiences. Well, we wish it was the Orange Bowl. But to what do they call that? Hard Rock Stadium.
Rock Cafe. Yeah, Hard Rock Stadium now.
Hard Rock Hotel's gone too in Vegas. I stayed there before.
Terrible. I love the Hard Rock Hotel.
Yeah,
so nice. Vince Vaughn coked out of his mind there one time. They're hungover.
See, you're gonna get that on the.
You're gonna get that at Patreon. I'll tell you the full
right
story.
There. Yeah. All right. Look, here's that interview. With no further ado. Joining me on the College Football Experience Miami Hurricanes 2023 season preview is none other than Michael Barker, aka College Football Campus Tour on Twitter. Yes, at CFB Campus Tour. Give that a follow, folks, because that page is fantastic. What he does is he goes to like every single college football game ever. If I just, just tell you right there. Honestly, this guy goes to 5, 6, 7 games a week. He documented all on his Twitter account, but not only that, during the off season, stuff like that, he's documenting the history of these stadiums. He takes great photos. He got the photo of the game, all this good stuff. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show to talk a little bit. Unfortunately, we're going to be talking about Hard Rock Stadium, which in my opinion, not the biggest fan. When you had the Orange Bowl, it just kills me here, but, hopefully they can bring something back. But, tell me about your experiences and tell me about the history of Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, you can't go back in time. They tore down the Orange Bowl. A lot of people think they tore down the mystique of the program, and they've been chasing it ever since. And, Miami is growing up for, people our age. It was probably the most entertaining talented team that we knew, and you look forward to those Florida State Miami games every year. So we would love to have them back. And the stadium situation, I think, is one of convenience. They play in Hard Rock Stadium. It opened in 1987. It was Joe Robbie Stadium, which was built for the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins played there, or Miami has played there since 2008. In 2012, when the Marlins left, they did a $350 million renovation. If you remember, Joe Robbie Stadium was an outdoor stadium. But part of this renovation, they put what they call an open air canopy over the top, new video boards, new suites, and they reduced the seating capacity from 75,000 to 65,000. We know that it still hosts the Orange Bowl bowl game. It's also in the rotation for national championship and playoff games. It hosted the Alabama-Ohio State championship game a couple of years ago. And there were, as far as maybe hope for things in the future, last year, billionaire, lawyer, NIL master, his name is John Ruiz. He proposed a privately funded stadium in what's called Tropical Park. It's 3 miles from Miami campus, and it would be a 60,000 seat stadium right on the water. Similar in maybe look to SoFi, but a little bit more of a college feel. But the most important thing, it would be less than 3 miles away from campus and would hopefully attract more students. So it's in the planning, talk about stage, but as far as going from the Orange Bowl to Hard Rock, getting back closer to campus, that would be a big win.
Yeah, because their stadiums are empty. That when they play their games, a lot of times it's pretty empty. I'm looking at some renderings of the new stadium, and it's interesting. I mean, I still don't like the roof on it, even though it's somewhat outdoor, somewhat roof. But either way, I think you got to get closer to home. I mean, look, maybe the stadium's beautiful. I haven't been to it, but it's almost like like one of the things that hurts UCLA is them play. I love the Rose Bowl, but I'm saying that the fact that on a Saturday, it'd take like an hour to get there. If you're going to UCLA, you got to really make plans to get there. So I imagine the same thing happens with Miami fans there. But tell me, how many times have you been to Hard Rock?
So I've been to 2 games at Hard Rock, 2019, 2020. The 2019 game was a Thursday night ugly game against Virginia, 17-9. They pulled it out, but it was hard-fought defensive battle. In 2020, I went to the opener, and that was the first or second week of the COVID experiment, where are we playing, are we not playing? And a 65,000 seat stadium with 8,000 people, you couldn't have been more spread out. I'm thankful for any football that they beat UAB in that game. I am going to their season opener this year on a Friday night. It's Miami versus Miami. They're playing Miami of Ohio. So I'm hoping that this experience, season opener, no COVID restrictions, it could be the best representation of a crowd that I've seen at Hard Rock so far. So, I can withhold a little bit of judgment until then. But that's, other than getting like a Florida State game or something in there, usually the season opener is when people show out the most. So I'm looking forward to hopefully, authentic Miami Hurricanes experience September 1st.
Yeah, hopefully you get it too. I mean, look, that's part of the fun. When they were really going, they had a passionate fan base. Go back, every summer we're so football deprived. We end up here at the studio at SGPN. We throw on all these old games, and they end up in the Jimmy Johnson era somehow. One of those days, I feel like every summer. And they're showing the games, and man, the crowd looks so awesome. They got to get back to those days, and I hope they do. And I hope they do for the game you're at, man. So I appreciate you hopping on the show to talk about Hard Rock Stadium. And thanks for coming on, man. Maybe one day I'll see you there.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it's a big game, and maybe in the future I'll see you at Hard Rock as well.
There we go, brother. Take care, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
There we go. Michael Barker. What do you think about that though, CJ? Like, I mean, the part of their, I find it
COVID, or he's going to be at the Miami game.
No. Just the fact that their struggles, you look at their struggles.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it could be the fact that the thing's like half empty. Even when they had that 10-win season, that shit was half empty.
For sure. There's something to it. It's the opposite of the Temple near Boston College is along to sleep. You go down to Miami.
Yeah.
You expect the smoke coming out of the intros and the crazy Orange Bowl crowds that used to be there. and now it's half empty, and half of them probably your fans anyway. And you're down there enjoying yourself, and next thing you're on top of a boat with a pet alligator, sell coke to a former Heisman winner, Gino Torres. Get over.
Yeah, folks, you're going to hear more about that story on the Patreon,
check the Patreon
or on the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, because that is fantastic, and you should be subscribed over there. And look, we're both on the under. I feel pretty good about
heavy on that under. I
think he's already bet it. He was doing that the past 5 minutes, betting that fucking thing, and I'm going to get over there and bet it too. You might hear it on an episode in August, on our Locks episode. But folks, I want you to subscribe to the College Football Experience as well, and the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. So look, we are first, give us a follow on Twitter. CJ Sullivan's on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _. See it there?
Yeah, let's do that.
And we are on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Give us a follow. I'm on Twitter at the Colbie D as well. And folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We're breaking down all 133 teams just like we do each and every year. So tell a friend, and I'm looking forward to the future. All right, see what Cristobal can do. It's gonna be fun.
Look in the crystal ball,
right there. Also check out the College Basketball Experience, the College Baseball Experience, the Big 12 Experience, and the FCS College Football Experience, and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. The SGPN app's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And what else do we got? We got the Discord. Come talk about the U in the Discord. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Until next time, this is the College Football Experience, Miami Hurricane style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking, and the whole world's looking with the cameras. Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And you know